Huh?
I am the tips of Christmas past.
Ho, ho, ho. I am the tips of Christmas present.
I am the tips of...
Look out, there's a black woman coming! Ah!
God blesses everyone.
So I looked into this one, and the reason that I got it was twofold. Number one, because it is this type of mic that points at you, which is what I want. At this point, I just want the mic to point at me, and then it's going to pick up the best audio. As you can hear right now, it sounds pretty good, doesn't it? And by the way, do you hear the bass in my voice? This microphone, as long as it's relatively close to me, will pick up a lot of the bass in my voice, which the other microphone was only doing when it was like dead center in front and stuff like that. This one is going to pick it up much nicer because it's directionally pointed at me. It's going to get those inflections of bass and everything in my voice. But here's the other very nice feature of this microphone, which I think you guys are going to enjoy. All right? Just listen to this. Oh! So I know that was a little variety of sound effects. But did you notice something in that variety of sound effects? Did you notice that nothing dropped off? Did you notice that you could hear the high highs and you could hear the claps? Did you notice that absolutely nothing is cutting off or dropping? This microphone should not cut off or drop any range of sounds. It's built to actually be able to cover those sounds, okay? Lucky Gremlin, if you say it sounds the same to you again, I'm just going to remove you from chat because I've already tested this and it's concretely different. And I've had enough of people being negative every day and you're one of them. So just stop right now. This microphone is significantly better than the one that I had previously. Okay, you can actually hear the laughing. You can hear the high tones. It's not cutting off and muting like the old mic used to do. The problem was with the old mic, it couldn't handle the extremes. It was either one way or the other. So this one can handle the extremes and adjust them. Okay, that's what's good about the mic. So this will actually sound more similar to the previous mic levels that I had. Only difference is now it won't blow your ears out. This is what I wanted to do when I put all the filters on the microphone earlier in the year, but it didn't really work. The filters basically muffled too much. Well, now this microphone is working well. And the thing is, I still have the filters on it. Here's what happened, okay? Let me tell you the whole story from start to finish of getting this working this morning. So, I unbox it, and it has a USB cable in it. I'm like, well, I don't want to use it with USB. I want to use it with my existing preamp. Well, I have to use the XLR cable then. So, I just unplugged the XLR cable from my previous microphone, and I go to unscrew my previous microphone, and guess what? I can't get it off the boom mic stand because the metal rod that it attaches to rotates. So if I'm trying to unscrew it, the entire rod is rotating. So I'm like, I have to get a wrench to hold this thing in place so I can detach the old one. So I had to run to the garage and grab a wrench to do that. Unplugged the XLR from that, screwed this guy in. I immediately noticed that this guy is heavier than my previous mic by a lot, actually. It actually has much more in it, I guess. So then I tightened everything super tight so it wouldn't sag. I tried to position it well, and I got it all set up. And immediately I noticed it wasn't working. So FYI, let me show you something. I want you to take a look at that microphone. Do you see something on it? I know this is silly. You're going to say, oh, there's a light on it. Yeah. So this microphone is supposed to have touch to activate and touch to mute. I was like, oh, that's a nice feature. So when I'm using it, and let's say that I want to stop talking for a second, I'm going to sneeze, or I'm going to cough, or I'm going on a break. Okay, guys, I'll be right back. And then I should be able to walk out of the room, and you can't hear me. Except I plugged it in, I'm looking at it, I'm like, the light's not turning on. And then I looked over at my preamp, and it wasn't even blinking, as if it was receiving sound. And I'm like, uh-oh, what's going on here? So I basically started to look all around. Okay. And I'm trying to figure out what's going on. So I'm like, tell me this is at least working. Please tell me this is at least working. And I went over to it's the Scarlett, Focusrite Scarlett. And I started touching the knob. That's the sensitivity knob. And I turned it a little bit all the way to the right, and I talked, and all of a sudden it like lit up like a Christmas tree. I was like, okay, it is working. The only problem was this microphone is actually less sensitive than my old one. It requires more open sensitivity to actually get the audio. So I was like, oh, I have to open it up. So I adjusted it back and forth a little bit to get it to the point where it seems like it's working just as well as the old mic, as you know, with the sensitivity settings and receiving audio and stuff. So I got that working. Okay, so it's working with the preamp. But what's going on with the mic? The light's not on. I'm touching it. Nothing's happening. It doesn't seem to have any effect. So I open up. I start reading the instructions, right? It says, oh, yeah, this mic has functionality with both USB and XLR. Oh, by the way, if you want to use it just with XLR, it has absolutely none of the features. None of the features. No touching, no light adjustment to tell you what mode you're on. Absolutely nothing. Like literally nothing. Okay? But what the hell? This is absolutely ridiculous. So I have to be using it USB only in order to get the features out of it. Well, that sucks, because here's the thing. I could use it USB. I have a USB 3.0 port open right now, but then I can't use my preamp. So if I don't use the preamp, the audio levels are going to sound completely different. I'm not going to have the adjustability that I want, you know? So basically what would happen is if I don't use my preamp, I'm forced to use the software that the microphone comes with. Now, I'm not saying that the software is bad. It's a name brand. Sure, that's a name brand for microphone. But do I really want to have to rely on that software being fully compatible with OBS and everything working properly? Do I want to learn a whole new suite of software to use this microphone? Not right now, okay? So I'm not saying that eventually I may not use USB 3.0. It's just going to be frustrating because the cord they give you isn't long. The cord they give you is very short. So how am I supposed to have a USB 3.0 cord going from this all the way down this boom arm, all the way down the side of my desk, all the way across my floor, all the way to the PC over there? I mean, I'm going to have to buy extension cables and everything for the thing, you know? So it is pretty frustrating. I wish that it was more clear. Like, no lie, nowhere online does it actually say that if you use this microphone with XLR, you get no features. It says the opposite. Like, it says, oh, fully compatible with XLR. Then why don't you say that the features don't work? Why do I have to buy it, open it, and read the instruction paper inside to find out that it's a half-featured mic using XLR? That's pretty dumb. Because, you know, like I said, I paid just under $250 for it, but that's because it has features. It has the touch. It has all these features. And now I can't use them, okay? So I'll have to look into that. Right now, I just wanted it to work immediately. So I'm using XLR, and I'm using it with my Focusrite preamp, okay? So I then went into OBS, and I wanted to do a couple demos. So first, I turned off all of my filters, every single filter, off, okay? And when I did that, and I recorded, the volume was very low. And I was like, oh, that's not good. I wonder why the volume is so low. So then I went, and I turned on all the filters that I had previously used with my other mic, and I did a demo recording, and it actually was working really good. But I was like, it sounds just slightly low, so let me up the gain. So then I upped the gain. It was at 8. I upped it to 11, and I hit record, and now it sounds good. And that's when I started doing the testing of me laughing like stuff like that. And as you can hear, it doesn't drop off. It doesn't cut off any sounds like it used to. That was the major problem with my mic earlier in the year when I put these filters on. It was cutting all this stuff off, okay? And now it won't anymore, hopefully. So that's the big improvement. Now, the other improvement, of course, is it's pointing at me, so it's very maneuverable, unlike the other mic where I had to have the certain side of the mic kind of aiming at me, and I needed to have a special pop guard on it and all of that. This one already has the built-in filter on. As you can see, it has that guard on it. You don't need like an additional guard to use this style of microphone. And it's very easy to maneuver with a boom arm. So this is going to be easier to use with a boom arm, adjusting the angles or whatever to get it to sound good. Like, actually, when I was about to start today's podcast, all right, I was actually going to have the desk over there, and I had the boom arm stretched all the way out to reach me. And I was like, oh, wait a minute, I want to play you guys a video. So if I want to play you a video, well, obviously what I need to do then is I need to have the boom arm in a different position. So I moved the desk over, I readjusted the boom arm, and it works fine. As you can see, it's pointed at me. It's not in my face, but it's at a good angle to reach me, and you can hear it well, you know? Now, could it be a little better? Yeah, for example, let me show you. So now it's literally right in my face. And as you can probably hear, it sounds a little better. It'll catch my bass even better. But I would need to have the mic like right there in my face to get the optimal audio. Do we really want to be eating the mic? Probably not. Okay, so it's all depends, you know, depending on the situation or what I'm doing. I could have it closer. Maybe, for example, if I'm going to be doing an interview, maybe I actually want the microphone closer. you know, because then it doesn't really care. You're not looking at the visuals of the interview as much, right? But for the most part, I think it's probably going to be like this. Slightly more back, slightly angled, right? Just to kind of be there at the right angle of the camera or whatever. And I think this is going to be like the optimal kind of situation. Okay. And the good thing is, again, when you're using effects, it completely erases the microphone. Now, look, I'm fully on camera. And so when I'm playing games, particularly, for example, when I'm doing this, the microphone is completely off camera now. And of course, I'll aim it a little better. But as you can see, this is me playing right now. And as you can see, it's fine. You know, the microphone is not in the shot whatsoever, but we're still getting good audio, right? So there you go. Now, let's do a test. All right, we're going to do a test right now of the sensitivity. This should be fine because I'm using the same exact filters that I was using